Hey guys, welcome to this video on analyzing the question for the English 2.2 External. This tutorial is still under the preparation portion of these videos. We will be covering 4 important parts in this video to highlight how crucial it is to analyze exam questions. These are how are 2.2 questions asked, breaking down past exam questions, important parts of the question, and your next steps after this video. So how are 2.2 questions asked? What should you expect when you get into the exam? So there are either 7 or 8 different questions given to you, and these sets of questions change every year. Some questions are new and you would have not seen them before in past exams, while others have the same 7 aspects which we will discuss in more detail in this video. Some examples are theme, character, and language features, but no need to worry about this for now. I'll elaborate more later on. 2.2 questions are relatively straightforward with their questioning, but the wording does vary slightly per year for these aspects. So now let's break down the past exam questions. Pretty much there are essentially 2 parts to every question, each containing one of the key aspects I was talking about before. On your behalf, I have gone through all the past exam questions available to identify the 7 main aspects which can come up every year. But for now, I'll show you what I mean by there are 2 parts in a question. Here is one of the questions in the 2018 paper. Here you can see that language features is part 1, and a powerful emotional response in the audience is part 2. That's essentially audience response. Notice how they're asking you to link part 1 to part 2. How does language features link to audience's response? Here's one of the 2014 questions, which has a different combination of part 1 and part 2. It has setting as part 1 and character as part 2. Once again, though they don't explicitly say so, they are asking you to link part 1 to part 2, as in, how does setting link to the character? Thirdly, here's another combination of the 2 parts, with symbolism being part 1 and theme as part 2. So now that you have an understanding of the 2 parts in a question, let's now discuss what these aspects are. Like I said before, we have gone through all the available past exam questions for you and identified 3 main aspects for each part which comes up every year. I note as well that character is one of the key aspects you should study because it can come up as either part, so there is a very high chance it will come up in the exam. Videos 4 to 10 will cover each of the aspects in more detail for both the parts. It's important to be prepared for different combinations of aspects from part 1 and those in part 2, because these can change every year, so it's good to be ready. Otherwise, you might not find a question suitable for the details you know, and you're left without an essay. Here's a table of the aspects which I'll discuss in the next tutorial videos according to which part they usually belong to. These are once again based on past exam questions and are the 7 most common aspects that come up. As you can see, language features, symbolism, and setting are usually in part 1, and theme, audience response, and director's purpose are in part 2, whilst character can fall for either parts. I suggest you pick an aspect from part 1 and an aspect from part 2. It's also highly recommended that you prepare for character as well, because as I mentioned before, it can come up as either part 1 or part 2, so there's a high chance you'll be able to find a character question to write about. You can also mix and match your chosen aspects with character. For example, if you've chosen symbolism as part 1 and theme as part 2, you already have 3 different combinations, one with symbolism and theme, one with symbolism and character, and one with character and theme. Alright, so now that you have analyzed the questions, what can you do from here? If you haven't chosen your aspects yet, watch videos 4 to 10 on the analysis for each of the aspects so that you can have an idea on what you believe is the best to study for your film. From there, you can then choose your aspects from both part 1 and 2, as well as analyze your character. Once you're confident with your analyses, you can then watch videos 11 and 12 on how to actually write the structure of your essay. And then of course, before going to the exam, you can practice writing your essay. Now if you have chosen your aspects or were given them in class, you can focus on these and watch the analysis videos for them only. This could give you more detail on your aspects and ensure you are not missing anything vital before the exam. I also recommend studying character and watching the analysis video for that as well. Then you can proceed to the structure videos to find out how to write and structure your essay, and then finally you can then practice writing your essay to be ready for the exam. So that's it for today's tutorial guys, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.